Having released several new mounting solutions recently, finally users of the smallest and lightest mount have received a rather substantial update. Welcome to Ifty's Tech Corner, where today we are looking at the second generation of the Frame. The Frame is the smallest and lightest way to mount a GoPro camera, keeping the entire unit low profile and ultra compact. The first version of the Frame wasn't without its flaws. We had separate units for using the camera alone or with a backpack. Insertion or removal of the camera meant the entire mount had to be removed from its base. The mount had to be flexed an almost uncomfortable amount to even get the camera into place in the first instance. There was no access to the memory card or HDMI port. And finally, the lens itself remained completely naked to the elements. GoPro promised to have rectified all these issues and present us with the second generation Frame. Let's take a closer look. Within the rather extensive plastic packaging, we have the frame mount itself, along with a protective lens, and finally a small accessories box which contains a tiny GoPro port cover and some usage and warranty information. A large plastic package for a small frame mount and a large box for a tiny port cover does seem a little excessive, but keeps in line with the GoPro typical package range. I wasn't a fan of the first generation Frame. It was too flimsy for my liking, although I must admit this second generation on first glance is a serious improvement. It feels far more substantial in the hand. The plastic frame is thicker than the original, increased rigidity and toughness make it feel almost like a solid construction, with far less flex than the previous generation. By removing the frame from the included quick release mount, noticeable straight away is the completely closed bottom, no more having to remove the frame from mounts in order to insert or remove your camera. Other than a hole for the camera LED to shine through, it's otherwise plain in construction. On the left side we have a rubberized strip along one side, along with a rubber Wi-Fi button which reaches through the thicker plastic with a cross-shaped design on the inside. And finally we have a hole through the frame for audio capture covered by a mesh-type material to almost act as a mini pop filter. On the opposite side we have a large hole for access to the camera ports and memory card, along with a metal hinge for holding backpacks in place. We'll take a look at these shortly. On the top we have another rubberized shutter button. Next to this is another hole for the recording LED to shine through, along with another microphone hole. A small raised plastic cover in front of the microphone hole helps with clearer audio capture when the camera is in motion. Finally, we have this new opening and locking mechanism. Held together with three metal hinges, it's a rather ingenious design in the way it fans apart enough for a camera to be inserted. Also notice how the plastic frame overall is rather rigid, much less flex than the first generation Frame. On first inspection the latch does feel rather loose, although this should provide a firmer fit with a camera in place. Talking of the camera, let's get one in place. Notice how all inside edges of the frame have rubber grips to keep the camera firmly seated in place. Along with the rubberized finish of the GoPro itself, they should give us a very firm hold. With the top latch open we can insert the GoPro. Bear in mind you'll want to remove the side door and expose the ports first, being careful to keep that side door somewhere safe. Since the rubberized grips on the inside hold the camera firm, we have no lip around the outer edge of either the front or back of the frame, meaning users are able to slide their camera in from either the rear or from the front. With the camera in place, we push down the top latch to close the frame and lock the camera firmly. Notice how with the camera inserted we have a firm click when closing the latch. The rubber grips really do hold it very nicely, a simple, effective design. This gives us full access to the rear of the camera as well as the front, making changing of batteries a very easy affair. Notice how with this second generation Frame, both USB and HDMI ports, as well as the memory card port, are all completely open, meaning we can now attach external displays, a charging cable or mic adapter, or change the memory card with ease. Going back to the rubberized finish down the entire side of the frame, this provides some flex along this side and allows users to easily attach or remove a backpack without having to remove the camera from the frame. For increased security, the backpack support arm is tucked neatly into an indentation on one side of the frame. Simply extend the arm and insert your GoPro with backpack attached from the front of the frame. The extended arm now firmly and securely holds the backpack in place. In its current form, the camera is held securely, but the lens is bare and at risk from damage. The slightest scratch or mark to this lens will affect all captured video, so you really need to keep this as scratch-free and clean as possible. That's where the included GoPro lens protector comes into play. Constructed from clear glass with a black plastic rim and finished with a rubberized outer edge to add to that gripability, it's a very simple yet very effective design. The inner edge contains several rubber ridges that increase in thickness as they go back towards the clear lens. This provides a tight fit as the lens is pushed back into place. Firm enough to keep the protector nicely in place even when subject to vibration. Finally, attach the port cover on the rear to protect the GoPro port from dust and debris. It's a simple design that does its job very well, while maintaining the sleek look of your camera without adding unnecessary bulk and protecting the camera lens from scratches, dirt or debris. The frame is the smallest, lightest way to mount your GoPro and enables ultra-compact, low-profile mounting. The open design helps deliver optimal audio capture during low-speed activities while incorporating access to the camera's microSD, micro HDMI and USB ports for easy data offload, live feed video and charging. The extendable support arm allows you to conveniently attach an LCD Touch BacPac or Battery BacPac while holding it securely in place while shooting. The integrated latch makes inserting and removing your GoPro from the frame quick and easy. Finally, the included glass protective lens helps guard the camera lens from scratches, dirt and debris. Not only does this second generation frame mount fix all the issues we had from the first generation, it does so with style. Not being a huge fan of the first frame mount, GoPro certainly have things right this time round. If you're looking for a way to easily mount your GoPro in an ultra-compact way, coupled with lens protection, this is certainly a fantastic solution and comes highly recommended. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Alternatively, feel free to check out the other GoPro videos in my channel by clicking above or in the description box below. Remember to subscribe as there are plenty more GoPro videos and tutorials coming shortly. See you next time in Nifty's Tech Corner.